Well, hello to you. It's Scott Picken, CEO and founder of Migrate, and I want to bring you this weekly wealth insight. And this one is all about the power of the mind. You know, in the last couple of weeks, I have basically done a 21-day abundance challenge with Deepak Chakra, every single day committing. You know, it's just interesting. I started that with a whole bunch of people, and very, very few people finished it. And, you know, when you commit to do something, I believe one of the most important things in life is, you know, being able to trust yourself that when you say you're going to do something, you actually do it. And, you know, I said, I agreed to do the 21-day challenge, and every day for 21 days, I did the meditation, I did the exercises. And, you know, I really believe that one of the most important things in life that you need to be able to do is trust yourself. The second thing I did is I read the book, or listened to the book, Think and Grow Rich. It's the most successful book ever written in the space on mind and how whatever you believe and conceive, you can achieve. For our inner circle people, you know, that are part of the groups, I will share the audio recordings for you so that you too can listen to it. And I've also been doing my what does Tony Robbins call it? My priming every single morning, which is about 20-minute exercise. So all in all, it's quite a lengthy process. It takes sort of 35 to 40 minutes every morning. So it's quite a commitment, but it's all about the mind. And so this wealth insight is all about the mind. And, you know, Tony Robbins talks about how, you know, success in life is 80% psychology and only 20% implementation and execution. So how much are you spending on your 80% psychology? Because the rest, you know, is only 20% about the execution. He also talks a lot about resourcefulness. You know, I've watched a series where back in 2010, I spent a lot of money, $50,000 to go to business mastery in Vegas and then in Fiji. And he spoke a lot about resourcefulness. He spoke about how, you know, when the last major crash happened, or the big crash, the depression in 1929, you know, a lot of people went bankrupt. Everyone was in depression and poor and in scarcity mode. And, you know, people like the Kennedys in 1929, you know, went out and you know, basically had $3 million in 1929, and by 1934 had something like $180 million, and that's how they set up their entire family. The other one that I love was Walmart. You know, back in the 70s, and I can't remember all the stats, but it's something like back in the 70s, Walmart was hardly, you know, no one, you know, really even worried about them. The analysts didn't worry about them. They said that they were a low-cost center. They had no way of growing, and their big competitors like Sears and them were much bigger than them. But they were incredibly resourceful. They didn't have, you know, more money than them. They were just more resourceful. And so they went and they found towns, and they positioned the Walmart between two towns. And by doing that, they grew Walmart into the biggest retailer in the world, even to this day. And, you know, many times bigger than Sears and their competitors. And ultimately, all their competitors went bankrupt. And it's all about resourcefulness. You know, the bottom line is, if you're in business, if you're in life, if you're in investing, people always have they always try and say, oh, well, I don't have the money, or I don't have the time, you know, but the bottom line is successful people are resourceful. And why are they resourceful? Well, it all starts in the mind. It all starts with an abundance mindset. It all starts with the psychology, the 80% of the psychology. I want to leave you with a personal story. It was back in 1999. It was the first year out of university, so I was 21, 22 years old. My friend came to me and said, there's a good opportunity in Rondebosch, Cape Town, which was very near where I studied. And I really liked the property. The only problem was I had no job, and I had no money. So, you know, it's going to be quite hard to buy a property. But we were resourceful. And sorry, when I say I had no job, I mean I just started working in London. You know, I certainly wasn't by any way successful. And we were resourceful. And him and I managed to secure the site. We managed to get a mortgage. We managed to bring in other partners to pay the deposit. We rented out the property. In the meantime, we got planning permission. We then eventually, you know, got a partner on board to do the development with us. We turned that into 6 townhouses, and we sold them off, and we made over 2 million rand each, which back in, you know, the late 99, early 2000s was a hell of a lot of money, and certainly a hell of a lot of money for someone who was 22, 23, 24 years old. How did I do that? It was all about psychology. It was about the 80% in the mind, the psychology, and only 20% about the execution. It was about resourcefulness. And that is what our inner circle is all about. It's empowering you. It's putting you in a space. It's introducing you to people like Warren Ebbett. We had an incredible session with him on Tuesday, and that's what our inner circle is all about. So if you want to, you know, join the inner circle, click on below. I am going to redo the abundance challenge starting today. So you can click on the link, on the WhatsApp link. The one problem with WhatsApp is you can't go back, so I'm going to put a Telegram link as well, because if you link to that, you can go back if you start a couple of days later. The bottom line is it's your commitment. It's your life. You get to choose whether and how successful you're going to be. And if you enjoy this, as always, I really implore you to share this with your friends. We want to add as much value as possible to as many people as possible. And I truly believe we can't solve the greatest challenge on the planet on our own. It's a collective thing, and it all starts with psychology. It all starts with the mind. It all starts with self-belief. And so I ask you as a responsibility to share it. We've all got a responsibility to solve the greatest challenge on the planet. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next week. Cheers.